final question, how can we open up diversity in our executive management in cybersecurity, and why haven't we? Deidre, start us off.
Love this conversation. This is huge. Okay, couple of things. One is most organizations do not have roles and responsibilities clearly defined such that promotion criteria is transparent. When promotion criteria is transparent, women will be promoted instead of our friends. And women are different than men, and men in their can have unconscious biases and feel like, oh, this person's not ready because they don't feel the same way when I interact with the men. And I've seen it, and I've all day long, it isn't necessarily conscious. So if we have measurable agreements around roles and responsibilities for promotions, a lot of this will go away, because once things are transparent, fair is fair. That being said, another thing that's I've noticed, and you'll see a press release between CyberSN and Secure Diversity and SANS, is that 2 years ago, New Year's, I was stuck somewhere I didn't want to be, and I started thinking about women not being in senior executive roles in security. And so I started looking at the men that were in these roles and what are their backgrounds. And it is very clear that they have high-level certifications and trainings in the leadership arena, not just cyber. Lots of investment. I'm talking $100,000, $200,000 minimum in certifications. And so I've made a pledge to use the money that we raise for our events to go foster that. Now, I don't love that that's the case. I'm not an advocate of, these certs shall be an entry point for anybody by any means. We live in a system that we need to minimally play in to get women promoted. And so it's those two things. And at the end of the day, the thing that's made the most movement is legislation. So Max, I mean, you're my hero today, reminding all of us that it's legislation that really makes things happen. And so let's keep making legislation for equitable treatments at work, and we can see more of this too, meaning people are being fined at the board level and the C-suite if there isn't diversity, and now we're seeing people be fined for retention statistics. And so these things make impact, unfortunately, because they're tied to money. So there's this sort of, the human part of what we need to do. And then there's the never forget that only money makes things happen. So much like the pain that we were talking about. And if you haven't experienced a breach, it doesn't feel the same. You may act differently. So it is simple to solve. The other piece is just we need more women coming in, which that focus is there. It's a numbers piece, but truly there's not fair promotional criteria happening. And I get the calls day in, day out from women. That's why they're leaving. Somebody just got promoted over me. And it really ought to have been my job based on resume, and it's a constant.